The Bucks had no shot in Game 5. The Pistons rolled 91-77, and Tayshaun Prince had the best game of his short playoff career with 24 points, 8 assists, and 9 rebounds. And our experts thought Prince was the MVP of the series.
I thought Tayshaun did a magnificent job. He was very efficient with his shots. Like tonight, 11 for 15 from the floor. I can't remember him forcing a single shot.
The Nets were up next, and everybody was ready for a dogfight.
I think things could get a little nasty. I won't say punches thrown, but it's going to be some jostling and some all that stuff. That craziness, some brouhaha going on.
And Kidd dribbling back to the timeline. He hit it. A painful loss. There was contact without a call. An alley-oop to Kenyon Martin. The Nets take out the Pistons in 4.
While Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, Richard Jefferson and company went on to the NBA Finals last season, the Pistons sat and stewed. Embarrassed by a 4-game sweep, they planned their revenge. A split of the 4 regular season games would settle nothing. No, the Pistons waited until it mattered most. Matt Shepard looks back.
That was a terrible feeling to have going into the summer, and to have to actually sit there and wonder why or what we could have done better.
We felt like that last New Jersey series, we underachieved. We just felt like we cheated ourselves.
It definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth, because I know, looking back, that we're a much better team than what we displayed against Jersey.
Almost a year after experiencing the disappointment of being swept by the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals, Detroit got their shot at postseason redemption in round 2 in 2004, and the Pistons made a statement in the first 2 games.
RASHEED zips the pass. Chauncey for 3. Reload. Bottom. Dagger.
It was an opportunity to get another win at home, and we knew we couldn't let the refs get into us, and we couldn't go out there and think that they just going to give us something. And we just came out aggressive and played hard and got the win.
They challenged themselves in the second half and then came out with a whale of an effort. More importantly, not only did they hit the glass, they started going after the shots that they wanted to get. They got the ball inside. So much pressure now will be on New Jersey when they go home to suit up for that Game 3.
I saw a team come out with a lot of pride, on that opposite bench. And I don't expect anything but their best next game.
That's exactly what Detroit got at the Meadowlands. The Nets stormed the Pistons, holding them to 29% shooting from the floor and getting a career playoff best 30 points from Richard Jefferson.
He made so many huge momentum shots. Him being able to play 44 minutes and be able to provide scoring while some of our guys were out with foul trouble was huge.
When you guys shoot 29%, you're just not going to win too many ball games.
No, you're not. And another stat you can look at is 10 assists. We didn't share the basketball tonight, and this team can't win like that.
No way we can win when only having 10 assists. I mean, that's crazy. And we got to do a better job of sharing the ball and playing as a team.
2 nights later, Detroit as a team registered just 16 assists, same number as turnovers, and New Jersey secured the equalizer in convincing fashion behind Jason Kidd's 7th career playoff triple-double.
I was, kind of tired of sitting on the sideline trying to figure out if I'm going to make one or miss one. So, when the third quarter started, Kerry started knocking them down. That's the fun part of the game.
We're just playing a lot harder than we did up there. You know what I'm saying? I think our confidence is real high. You know what I'm saying? So we just been playing a lot better.
The home court is so important in this series. It's good that the Pistons will have a Game 7 if necessary at home, but they're going to have to feed off the energy of their crowd.
Detroit got what they needed from the fans and Chauncey Billups, who forced overtime with a half-court teardrop. But Brian Scalabrini's career night gave the Nets the game and a chance to wrap up the series at home.
I don't think I've ever been a part of something like this big on this stage, in my life.
And usually in these type of situations, when a game is extended 15 extra minutes, somebody that you don't even think of in the beginning surfaces as the hero.
It's emotionally draining for both teams, but obviously for the loser, maybe just a bit more. But again, as poorly as they played in stretches in the first quarter, to come back in the second quarter, play better, they showed some guts out there.
The Pistons showed their resolve and their determination in Game 6, paced by 24 points from clutch shooting Rip Hamilton and 21 massive rebounds from Ben Wallace.
It just shows what type of team we really are. You know, we've been fighting through tough times all season, and we came in here with, you know, seemed like the world on our shoulder. We had to find a way to get a win, and everybody stepped up and got one.
Everybody was saying it was over, and it's just good to see, you know, we really pulled together and believed in each other.
This is what the playoffs is about, you know, getting an opportunity to play Game 7 on your home court. I think it's a fun opportunity for everybody.
The finale was a lot more fun for Hamilton and Detroit than it was for New Jersey. The Pistons ran away in a 21-point win, sending them back to the conference championship series.
It's disappointing. I would have liked to have seen it through, but it just, you know, it just wasn't going to happen. And I respect the decisiveness of the decision. I respect the forthrightness.
Who would have thought then that Rick Carlisle would be the last obstacle between the Pistons and the NBA Finals? But it was the matchup everyone wanted. Brown versus Carlisle, their best defensive player versus our best defensive player, their Reggie versus our Rip. Trevor Thompson now takes us inside a series that lived up to the hype, and then some.
That's the bottom line. That's all I'm saying. They will not win Game 2. And you heard that from me. Y'all print whatever the hell y'all want. Y'all put it front page, back page, middle of the page. They will not win Game 2.
After watching Reggie Miller spoil a potential Piston party in Game 1, RASHEED Wallace boldly guaranteed the equalizer for Game 2 versus the Pacers. He just didn't guarantee he'd lead the charge.
If you're going to guarantee a win, isn't it best that you not come out and shoot 1 for 10 in the first half? I mean, I guess he did redeem himself. He finished with 10.
Well, there's an old saying, Mickey, don't let your mouth write a check that your behind can't cash. And it seemed like RASHEED was bouncing checks left and right there in the first half because he was bouncing bricks off that rim.
But Tayshaun Prince bounced this Reggie Miller layup off the backboard, making Sheed look like a prophet in the process.
Tayshaun made one of the greatest hustle plays I've ever seen.
You know, I've been making those kind of blocks all year.
Spectacular play, and that's, you know, that one play was certainly critical to the game.
And RASHEED would be critical to the Pistons in Game 3. 20 points, 4 boards in an 85-79 final at the Palace.
This was by far his best game. He was all over the floor. He was pressing, he was scrambling, he was hopping, getting rebounds. He had a little pep in his step.
So I think they were trying to concentrate on me. Trying to concentrate on me in that second half, and, you know, that just opened it up. Rip came on. You know, blazing that J, and we just got it.
But what they got was punked at the Palace in Game 4 by a red-hot Ron Artest and a forgotten Austin Crozier as the Pacers pulled out all the stops.
Gregory, it wasn't their A game. That was their A-plus game.
Even with a hobbled superstar.
Scary moment here for Indiana. Jermaine O'Neal comes down. His knee buckles as he lands on the floor. He would leave the game, but of course Waiter returned and was strong tonight overall.
Because the Pistons were weak.
I saw no intensity and very little concentration. There was a stretch in that first half when the Pistons had 3 consecutive turnovers. Careless, unforced errors.
You know, we weren't ready to play, and that's on me.
This has just made the Pistons mad, and I'm sure Indiana understands that. And they're going to come out with fire in their eyes on Sunday night.
Rip Hamilton certainly caught fire, George. A career-high 33 points on the road in Game 5, helping swing the momentum back to the Pistons' favor.
That Jerry Stackhouse trade is looking better and better, isn't it, guys? Richard Hamilton has really elevated this game and has just dominated Reggie Miller.
I just keep moving. You know, at all time of the game, I never like to stay in one spot because I got so much energy.
RASHEED, did you know that Rip was this good before you played with him?
Mm-hmm. RASHEED also had 22 in Game 5, setting the stage for this.
Rick Carlisle now 1 loss away from being knocked out of the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd year in a row.
And that's exactly what happened 2 days later in Carlisle's former place of employment, the Palace, as the Pistons won ugly in Game 6, sending Carlisle home a loser.
Tough night, but I was very proud to be in that locker room with a bunch of guys that aren't satisfied.
But Detroit was, even though the combined 60 first-half points was an NBA playoff low. But in the end, ugly never looked so good.
Might have been ugly for some people, but my wife and I enjoyed it.
We beat Milwaukee, who was a hot team all year, New Jersey, who was Eastern Conference champions, and the team with the best record in the league, so it's no accident that we're here.
You know, when I joined this team, Joe said he had a 5-year plan to get this team to the finals, and we made it in 4th.
And not a moment too soon for any fan of Piston basketball.
A funny thing happened en route to the Lakers' 4th championship in 5 years. The Pistons. Nicholson and his Hollywood cronies gathered at Staples hoping to witness a feeding of the Lions. But as Ryan Field recounts, the Pistons had other ideas.
The last time they met in the finals was back in 1989. Then the Pistons swept the Lakers to win their first NBA championship. Fast forward 15 years, and once again it was Motown and Tinseltown taking center stage. The glitz and glamour of L.A. was the site for Game 1, but the Pistons came out undeterred.
The introductions have been made. The feeling out process complete. Hello, L.A. 1-0 Detroit.
The Pistons shocked everybody but themselves by jumping all over L.A. right from the start. Chauncey Billups led Detroit with 22 points as the Pistons took Game 1, 87-75.
That's probably a lot of people thinking it was a fluke, but we got lucky. But we're not concerned about what people think.
We're not happy just to be here. You know, like some people will be. Everyone in that locker room is hungry.
1 down, 3 to go. Yes, sir.
You know, so many people told me that this would be a sweep. Man, I hope they're right.
It looked as if that just might happen. The Pistons had Game 2 all but won, up by 6 points with 40 seconds left. But a 3-point play by Shaq pulled the Lakers within 3, then Kobe Bryant sent the game to overtime.
Oh, man!
It was all Lakers after that as they outscored the Pistons 10-2 in OT to win it 99-91.
We wanted to win that game, and it was evident we wanted to win that game. And it was right there for us, but like I said, you know, we didn't finish it.
We're fortunate. I told them that God smiled on us tonight in that one. We're crushed.
I mean, shoot, we had a winnable game, and everybody's in that locker room down, but we just got to bounce back.
You got 3 games coming up at the Palace in Detroit. The fans are going to be nutty. It's going to be a great situation, great environment for the Pistons. They got an excellent chance to do some serious damage back in the Midwest.
And they would do just that in Game 3. With a raucous crowd behind them, the Pistons' backcourt combined for 50 points, helping them cruise to an 88-68 win. So much for a letdown.
Larry Brown teams always bounce back. I almost committed suicide on a flight back from L.A. and tried to get over that. I'm going to enjoy this.
I'm sure now, if the Lakers weren't wondering before, they've got to be wondering now. Can we beat this team?
We're going to have to play our best game, the next one.
And for that, they would look to the man who was brought in to bring them to the promised land. RASHEED Wallace came up huge when his team needed him most, scoring 26 points, by far his best game as the Pistons. Detroit took the Lakers' best punch in Game 4, but still came away with the 88-80 victory, leaving them just 1 win away from the championship.
We can't get relaxed because we've won 3 and think that this last game is going to be a given. It's not.
I think everybody's a little down right now. You know, but the important thing is we have to win the next game.
You're trying to tell me you don't want to go back to Los Angeles?
No, I don't want to go back. I love Los Angeles, but I don't want to go back.
You got to keep it going. Keep the ride going, and we're capable of doing that.
If the first 4 games were any indication, the Pistons were more than ready to close it out in Game 5. Detroit fell down by 7 early, but stormed back to lead by as many as 28. And when the final buzzer sounded, the Pistons had won it 187, and in doing so, captured the 3rd title in franchise history.
Man, this is a great feeling. You know, I won the NCAA championship, but this by far is the best, man. We're feeling great right now.
You got the girl. I saw those commercials. You finally got her.
Yeah, you know, I've been chasing her for a while. You know, she was ducking and dodging me, but, you know, I continue to work hard. And at the end, you know, she had to give in.
You plan to kiss on her yet?
Yeah, I'm planning a couple kisses on her.
Go ahead.
You know, this is kind of a community MVP. You know, I'm taking it, but, you know, it's all of ours.
How does Kid Rock celebrate tonight after this?
You'd like to get that on camera, wouldn't you?
We would.
Yeah, not going to happen.
You told me, you know, 4 years later we were going to be standing here talking about world champions. I would have said, man, this guy smokes or something, man. What's up?
Since this is toward the end of it for me, and the way we did it against such a quality coach and a quality team, it's a pretty incredible feeling.